Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Dakota Kustomz un-RIVETED. I'm your host, Travis Feist, owner-operator of Dakota Kustomz. And with me, as always, is my front guy, sales manager, Rob McLeod.
Morning, guys.
Nice day out today.
Beautiful day out. Actually, can't really complain about the last week.
Yeah, it's been hot, but
it's been good.
Compared to last year, I think we're doing pretty good for temp-wise. We're under 100, where I think last year we were 15 days straight of over 100 degrees at this time. So yeah, I'll take it.
And it's nice being at the end of the day. You can kind of just, when the weather's nice, you can kind of just do whatever you want to do at the end of the day.
Right. Cools down pretty good in the evenings.
Yep.
Over 100 has to be nasty in the shop.
Yeah, it gets warm in there. It gets very humid. It takes a toll on a guy.
It does.
It definitely does.
Yeah. So, I kind of want to explain a little bit, for people that are just starting to follow us on our podcast or new to some of our podcasts. Dakota Kustomz, we're a custom shop. We do customization on vehicles. We build cars, build trucks, bikes. We've done accessories on UTVs, performance on side-by-side UTVs. We do accessories, lift kits, air suspension on trucks. List goes on and on and on. We do some maintenance on motorcycles. We do some basic stuff to extensive stuff, I guess I should say.
We got a pretty broad talent basis with all our guys. I think we're fixing to have 9 guys in our shop coming up here soon. So starting with Travis, who's, we'll call him a master of all trades, from Lakin, who was a welder, side-by-side tech, to Jacob, who was a machinist by trade, and just no detail ever goes missed with him, and Jesse, who just, covers a lot of ground as well, and Aaron and Bob, they're sheet metal wizards as well, so they have no problem cutting up a car and making it better than once it was. So having those guys back in the shop kind of allows us to cover a wide basis of, whatever you would want done to your car, we essentially can make it happen. So
right. And it's nice to have car guys working for you. It's taken a lot of growing pains to get to this point, but just like anything, you gotta perfect a lot of stuff, and having the right guys in your shop makes a huge difference. And these guys that are working for us, they have background experience, and again, what's nice about it is that they are car guys, so they take good care of what they're working on, and they take pride in it, and that goes a long way.
It does. So even just like that customer that's bringing in his 69 Camaro yesterday evening, he was worried about his car being in our shop, and we kind of assured him and that everybody that's in our shop, we're car and bike guys, and we treat every vehicle, whether it's a $5,000 vehicle to a $200,000 vehicle, like it's our own. So, and that goes a long way with customers. It just kind of ensures that trust that their vehicle's in good hands when it's with us.
Yeah.
So,
and it's good to have the community backing too, because I know he was at a local car show here, and he was asking some other gentlemen that have hot rods and classics, and they referred,
I think it was across the board. They said just bring it to us.
Yeah, and it's good that you got that kind of feedback from the community, and it makes the guy feel good that all that hard work, people notice it, and the word of mouth is out there. And so we do like giving tours in our shop, just to assure customers, and even if you're not a customer, and even if you're just curious on purchasing something in the future, it's always nice to come down and visit.
See the direct translation from what you see on TV to actually seeing how these shops operate and function, and all the tools and machinery we use. And swing by the shop anytime, guys. It's kind of one of the best parts about my job, is showing people around and showing what we're capable of. So.
And it's nice too, because again, it's just not the cars and truck part of it. We do a lot of bike stuff too, as far as we're building custom touring bikes to beefing up soft tails, or even just do like some of the basics, just doing handlebars, and taking a bike and making it a little more personal, and in stages even to customers. So
and even just kind of not even from a toy or custom vehicle standpoint, just any kind of thing that you think could function better for you. I know I have a gentleman bringing in a brand new trailer he just bought from Extreme Sales, and we're going to do a custom vendor door on it. So it's not really just from the toy standpoint. Like, our guys cover a lot of ground, and they kind of make essentially what you are thinking into reality. So.
And it's nice too, because what brings me to that even discussion is we've even done, and you can see it on our Facebook page, that we've done custom TV mounts for a TV outlet store here in town.
Custom speaker mounts for boats and everything. So
we have a lot of talented guys that work for us, and so there's not only one thing that we do. There's a wide variety of the stuff that we do, and just so people can kind of get a drift of what Dakota Kustomz is and what we all do there. And it's not just strictly cars or just strictly trucks, or it's a wide brand of a lot of stuff that we do. And kind of leading into that little bit, I have Michael Lurch here from SwingAway. And I've known Michael for quite a few years. Back in the day, we used to actually hang out a little bit, and he used to be a huge into Hondas, and I'm sure you kind of still are. Yeah. But that's how I remember is when we first met. You were in riding Hondas and stuff like that, and you purchased a Road King. And I basically, would be pretty much a Road King chassis. And we put bars on it and got it set up for you before you headed off to Sturgis. And meanwhile, while he was at the shop, we started talking a little bit about doing a foundation kind of get together. And it was kind of one of those quick things that we just kind of blurted it out, and nothing was planned, but it triggered a lot of stuff. And again, kind of brings me to this point here again while we're here, is we're gonna start a benefit here for a local foundation. And so in all that's kind of something else that we also do is, with doing these podcasts, we want to talk, and as you listen and follow us, we're going to be doing more of, we'll talk about the car industry and what it's all about and what all goes in it and what we deal with and go through. But we also talk about local businesses getting together with us, doing certain events, car shows, raising money, stuff like that. So it's to give back to the community a little bit. And so it's not just only the car thing that we deal with. We try to do what we can in return and give back a little bit too.
Yeah, it's like the whole community's been so good to us. It's like kind of our way of just showing our appreciation for, because like I said, we're a business that's not necessarily needed in most people's lives. So if we can just still show our appreciation for people, helping us do what we love to do, it's a win-win, and there's no better situation than that.
Yeah, and it's always nice to help people in need too when they need it. And so again, that kind of brings me into today's podcast. We have with us Michael Lurch, owner of SwingAway. Nice to have you on our show.
Thank you, guys.
So before we start talking foundation, how was Sturgis down there? You just got back a couple days ago.
And I'd like to give a shout out to these guys. They did put bars on my bikes. Obviously, I'm not the shortest guy in the world. So when I got that, we were talking before we started this that all bikes I had before had drag bars, because I was that mentality back then that I had to have that look and stuff. But when everybody always talks about what you get for the dollar, I would do it 10 times over. It's amazing riding down there. my hands, you know, we talked about the numb feeling and stuff like that. You know, you get it no matter with whatever bars you have, but I didn't have it a quarter the amount I had it with the stock bars that were out before.
Yep.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It's almost like riding a whole new bike.
It is, and it changes the whole look of the bike.
Right. Yeah.
It really does. Yeah.
And it's neat because, like I said earlier, I think I first met you was like early 2000s when I met you, and we kind of started hanging out there a little bit. And you're kind of a tall guy, and it's still, even back then, I'm like, God, I can't believe he does drag bars, because
I
you're
had
a tall
Honda
guy.
Magna back then with straight bars on it. Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised that, you know, you've gone this long doing drag bars, that, you know, for being such a tall guy, and you got, you know, long arms and everything else, that, you know, it's hard. You know, everybody, and I get the question too. I mean, I've had apes on a lot of my bikes too, and people are just like, God, how do you drive that thing? And it's actually, until you actually have one and can drive it, it actually is pretty comfortable.
Oh, extremely comfortable. Yeah, I was amazed. You know, even like, you know, people right away talk about where the mirrors are and everything. I actually liked it more. It's like I almost had, because, you know, everybody uses the small mirrors and stuff. I actually felt like I had more rear vision with them higher. I mean, I didn't go super extreme. I went straight out, you know, and that's something with measuring and everything that they're really good at. They'll look at your bike and they'll have you sit on it. And I sat on both of theirs, and we just went from there. But yeah, I think we hit that right on the nail on the head with mine. I loved it.
Yeah, it turned out really good, and like you said, it changed the look of the bike too.
Yeah, anytime you can just, you know, ride a motorcycle, especially a touring bike, you know, you got the music, you got the fairing, you know, moving wind away from you, and anytime you can still add to that experience and make it that much better, it's just like, it just makes you just want to ride your bike even more and longer and faster. Yeah,
very true.
And that's a big thing too. You know, a lot of people having bikes, you know, that's kind of the reason why you have them, is to go out and cruise and enjoy, you know, getting some wind in your hair. And nothing sucks more is when you want to enjoy something in life and it's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So by making it comfortable for you to enjoy it is, you know, it's only a win-win. You know,
people just have to take that chance. You know, I'm one of the cheaper guys. So, but when I looked at people and talked a lot over the last few years with a couple guys, and I had an Ultra before this one, and once I got this one, and I seen a lot of them that are in the same, if you want to call it family, because there's so many different families of Harleys, they all said, you have to look into it. You have to look into it. Take the chance. So that's when I came to you guys, and I'm like, screw it. It's almost Sturgis time. I'm going to do it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth the money.
So bars aside, Sturgis was fun.
Sturgis was a good time this year.
How many days were you down there?
I left here Wednesday at about 7 o'clock. I drove to Bowman, hung out. I just got myself a work and play Screaming Eagle toy hauler, so I wanted to at least stay one night in it. Yeah. And we weren't able to check into the cabin until Thursday afternoon, but we were down there, and then we came back Sunday. But I've learned something. My dad always went the second half because we raced, and then we went to the races.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Now we definitely have to start going to the first half. It's not the same in the second half anymore of the week. It seems like more people are going at the beginning because of concerts.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So Full Throttle, all those places, but
yeah, they had some pretty awesome bands that first week.
They really did. So we walked around and stuff like that. My buddy Josh and I from Minot went down there, but it's definitely different than when I was in my early 20s. You know, you're almost 50 years old this year. You kind of walk around and look at people and go, you know, you're like, all right, it's 10:30. I'm getting the hell out of here. Everybody's starting to change into vampires. Right. Yeah.
So do you think it's society that changed, or the fact that you're getting older?
You know, I think it's a little both. More me, probably.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is actually my first sober McQuaid, my first sober Sturgis in I don't know how many years. But boy, you really, when you don't have that little bit of fog, you really see a lot of stuff. It's like, what are they doing over there?
Yeah, you look at it a little different.
Yeah, and it's really commercialized. You know, it's not like back in the day where you go out to Buffalo Chip and it was just, you know, you party and, you know, be
Wild West.
Yeah, and now it's just, there's signs everywhere, and, you know, people, you don't pull up with your little pop-up camper with your Sportster in the back. There's guys pulling up with Greyhounds with 7 bikes and double deckers that are, it's like, holy moly, you know?
Sturgis, I think, is evolving just on its own. Every year it's changing, but it's still a good time, and I'm hoping, you know, in all the years I've been doing this and building bikes, and I know you had me by a couple of years, but I've yet to be at Sturgis. I've yet to have been there, and I'm hoping that.
I think that's even crazy because like I know I've had a bike for about 8 years now, and I've never been to Sturgis, and people are like, what, you've never been to Sturgis? So it's like, well, the bike king himself hasn't been to Sturgis, you know, I kind of,
There's people I've talked to that haven't been there, that have ridden for 20 years. And I think it's one of those things a lot of people look on the internet and look at Facebook pages and stuff, and you really don't grasp the lifestyle until you actually go down. Like, I went to a NASCAR race, and I'm like, you know, it's a circle track. I rake dirt, big deal. Until you're there. You know, it's just like when I went to a Twins game, I'm like, when you're actually there, it's like, okay, this is pretty cool. That's right. You know, it's a whole different ball game once you're live.
It is. And it does, you know, and my biggest thing is, you know, come Sturgis time, you know, you just get so overwhelmed with the last minute and all the work to get involved that you just get burned out. And it's, you know, so it's one of those things that I'd still like to just take in the experience one day to see other people, and you're right, it is something that you have to experience. And I agree, I've been to a NASCAR race, and what you see on TV and what you experience in real life is completely different. I've been to Brainerd at the racetrack down there on the quarter-mile drags, and when the top fuel rails go through there, I don't care what anybody says, you can watch that on TV, you will never, not even close, experience what those cars put out and can do until you've actually seen them experienced them in live. It is, you can't explain words what it's like until you can actually stand there and see one go down the track and feel it, and how it takes your breath away and it vibrates your body, and it's the weirdest experience ever, but it's definitely worth it.
But that's why shows like Street Outlaws blew up, is because we've all done it. Doesn't matter if you have a little Honda CRX or you know, a blown Cuda like what's his name in Bismarck driving down the street. Once you know what it's like, and like you said, you've been there, it's just, like I said, shows like that blow up because people can relate. You know, can relate to stuff like that. So that's why American Chopper and all those did, because that's what everybody wanted. That's the American dream, what you're doing right now. You know, it's the American dream. Everybody wants that. You know, anybody that was any mechanically inclined, definitely wasn't me. I was a medical guy, so I wasn't mechanically inclined. But anyway, I was lucky that my dad could teach me a few things. But anyway, with that said, is you're living the dream that a lot of people. I still remember, and you guys had the shop over north of the Penn on whatever road that was.
I had Broadway.
I had a little yellow Ford Splash that you had lowered, tinted the windows. I went there with this is a Ford Splash, nothing great about it, didn't do anything to put tinted the window, slammed it. I was winning shows with it just because it was clean. And it looked cool.
Yeah, it was different.
A little 90 horse motor in or something, you know, back then. It was just, so it was, I still remember those days going, these guys have it cool. I think your brother was still working with you at the time.
That's when we were sharing a business back then, And I do remember that was the one thing about you that I always recall was everything you brought, like, you could eat off the underneath of this thing, and we'd look at it like, what's this guy's deal? It's just a yellow Splash, like who cares? But that was your baby, and that thing was so clean. And even to this day, like the bike that we even worked on too, that, I mean, there's a lot of guys that just,
you have a mentality, like even when you notice that slight vibration that was causing with the bags not being completely snug on the bottom rail, it's just like not a lot of people, they just would have
just drove it.
They just would have drove it, and they would have like that, and they're like that, especially that third gen Dodge you brought me. That thing was like, dude,
a lot of people go, what the?
That got my blood going. That was such a clean truck.
But that's the thing, like everything that you've ever owned that I recall on is always, I mean, you've taken so much pride in it, and that goes a long way, is on, even if it is a yellow Splash, like that was your baby back then, I recall that.
Right.
Hey, don't matter what it is, it's yours.
That's true. It wasn't fast, but I tell you what, and people, you know, it's just cool to have people notice, like my Mustang that I brought you guys when we slammed. You know, it's an 89 Mustang convertible. It's not a GT, it's just an LX, but, you know, it's just one of those things that, like you said, people have that mentality. It's mine. You know.
No, that's cool. So let's talk about SwingAway. What is it? What made you start it? Let's talk a little bit about what you got going on here.
Basically, really quick, we're a hitting facility for people that want to hit softballs, baseballs, fast pitch, and we're any age. A lot of people hear that we have, beer here, and oh my God, I can't take my kid. Nope, we make sure this place was built so anybody at any age can come in. I went down south. I was lucky enough to go to a national tournament about 17, 18 years ago, and to have something like this, it was a little more archaic. And I go, let's go hit softballs. Well, it was like 92 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was playing with a bunch of guys from there, and they're like, no, we hit indoors when it's this hot. I'm like, where we're from, this is gorgeous. So doors open, I walk in, I was like, what in the world is this? And it was basically a warehouse with like a bunch of hitting cages. Didn't have simulators or anything like that, but I thought, now, North Dakota needs something like this.
Right.
Well, then the ball yard, they have Mike from Fargo has the ball yard, and that's like a training facility and stuff like that. And I've gone up there a couple times when I'm in Fargo and hit, and he's awesome. My buddy Patty works there, he's a trainer. But I was like, I want something more for the entertainment.
Yeah.
Like you have golf, etc., and all that stuff. But
more enjoyable, less kind of training.
Yeah, something to come in, like we have gaming machines and stuff like that. Just something the whole family can come in. So I kind of hee-hawed around with the idea for many, many years, and it's not something financial that I could go to the bank and say, hey, this is what I want. So you kind of look for a partner that you can trust and stuff. And I've played against and with Jeff Bowers from Bowers Excavating for, God, I'd say 25 years. So we got done with a old man's no jump league volleyball, went to a local pub, and I had some liquid courage, and I threw it at him. And he's such a laid back guy. He can look at something, like you builders look at something,
see if
and you
it's
can
justifiable.
See where you can take it. So he's like, well, what do you mean? So I did my spiel, and he kind of just looked at me. He's a ginger, and he's just real laid back with his rosy cheeks like Santa. He goes, yeah, let's do it. And I'm looking at him like, well, you can't just do it.
Talk,
So a couple weeks later, he's ran into each other. We're talking. He goes, are you serious about that little adventure that you want to do? I said, yeah. He's like, well, let's look into how much it's going to cost and stuff. So then I started putting some lists together and how much simulators cost. And again, he's one of those guys where I sit and I look at him like, holy crap. But he's like, okay, yeah, holy crap.
Breaks it down. And
what can we, is it a product that can sell here?
Right.
So he finally just said, well, let's go sit down at a financial institution and talk to them. And, about a year ago, we came here, looked at this place, and Brandy and actually my cousin Nevada Crimmins, they're all partners in all this, and it was just perfect. It was the right size, the right location.
Great location.
It was just wide open. So we did a floor plan and started buying some stuff. There was a lot of setbacks with, everybody's like, oh, because of COVID. I think a lot of it still had to do the trickle effect from COVID, but I think a lot of it was like our contractor just had a lot of projects at the time, so they were spread thin. I did what I could during the summer. Obviously, Jeff is working, astronomical hours.
Right.
So, but so we ended up.
It looks great.
Yeah, thanks.
It's awesome facility.
It's nice in here, and it does help. You're a big softball guy.
Yep.
So you play the sport. You're that's kind of one of your biggest hobbies. So which is nice, somebody to open up something like this that knows a little bit about softball. So which is nice because you can show pointers, help out with people that are even just wanting to come in and learn something, or like you said, for fun or what have you. So being a fan of it really is a huge thing for you. To actually open up something like this, and it is a big it's a big nut to take on, just because it is this. They just put this location up here 4 years ago?
4 years ago. So basically, when we came in here, half of this was dirt still. Just because so whoever comes in can just do their build up as it is. There was no bathrooms, there was no nothing. So it's hard. It's hard coming from a medical standpoint and then being part of a business where it's just a contract job. We come in and go, okay, I got to look past all the crickets walking in the dirt and stuff like that to see where it can go. And we kept it basic. We wanted something where it didn't matter your gender, it didn't matter your age. When you walked in, you went, whoa, hey, this is
gonna have a good time.
Yeah, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
and it is a cool atmosphere. It really is. When you walk in this place, you feel like I'm trying to think of what it was called back when we were kids. It was like what was that arcade place? That
Bump and Tilt.
Yes, Bump and Tilt.
That's right.
When you walk in, you just like your eyes light up because it's very inviting.
You don't want to leave.
It's there's there's everywhere you look there's something for somebody to do if you're not into batting. So it's a fun, very inviting place. Where are you located at?
We're at actually 4530 Memorial Highway, about I'd say probably about 6 blocks from you guys, practically
right
on the
down
strip.
the strip.
Yep,
Yeah,
behind the new First Community Credit Union, and of course we're attached. They have a big sign outside First International. I like to throw them out because we've done so much stuff like we're doing together with those guys for charity stuff. So,
and I see you got a patio out front too. That if you just want to come and have a beverage, alcoholic or non, you can come and sit out on the patio that they have. And the other thing that's nice too is softball is a big thing for around here. We host one of the largest softball tournaments that people come from all over different states, which is also charity ran.
McQuaid's. Yep.
And so big softball community. So even during the winter time, you can keep that going, which is nice because there's a lot of people that are involved in softball.
Every night of the week, all the complexes are full.
Yeah,
we actually have the most softball players per capita in the continental U.S. So if you go anywhere else, it's like they're upper divisions and then there's rec. You come to North Dakota, there's upper divisions, then there's rec 1, 2, 3, 4 because there's that many teams. Like literally, they have a waiting list in the rec divisions at McQuaid's.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's just insane. Like I'm associated with Anarchy Bat Company, and they get sold out of Smash It Sports, and the owner there, Rick. When we first met, I told him about it, and he's like, well, there's no way, because all the pros get maybe 100 people to watch. I'm like, we get 9,000 people Friday night watching rec players and drinking beers. And he's like, are you kidding me? So I'd send him pictures. I mean, we have literally like 100 and some spot and pots or porta potties or whatever. He goes, I don't get it. He goes, I have to get out there. It's an experience. Like if anybody gets to go, like, it's the softball World Series. It's literally. It is. You know,
exactly.
In the middle of nowhere, as everybody says.
Yeah, it brings a heck of a crowd.
It's just such a fun sport. I know I played last year, and it's nice having all that breakdown of recs where you're always competitive, and it's just very well organized here. So it's like when people are part of such a well-ran softball, community, that makes them want to stay involved. Well, that helps you because they want to stay involved in softball. They want to be good. Well, they come here to enjoy what they want to do. So it's just like I can't think of a better community to have something like this.
It's nice, and we have people travel from everywhere. I mean, some of our most regular people come from smaller towns. Especially because of baseball, like Center.
Oh yeah,
they don't have something up there. We're here, like the high schools have their little cages. We're up there. They don't. I mean, we have a lady that comes down. I think she comes from Center. She brings her 3 boys down, and they rent the cage for like an hour and a half. They just hammer their baseball bats, and she'll sit at one of the game machines. Hopefully not get. Maybe her husband watches this, but she'll slap a couple 20s and gamble the machine, and But it's something that parents can come here, let their kids do their thing. I know I have a lot of people come in and go, "Oh, you have cornhole," and we have a football game that's literally a football game. It's called QB 54. It's literally cornhole with a football.
Oh, sure.
And they're like, "Oh, how much does that cost?" I'm like, "That's free." And they kind of look at you like you can't run a business by having. We're not here to be millionaires. We're here to help the community because wintertime, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, you're pretty limited.
I mean, you want to get your kids off the couch sitting on their phones. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But to be able to come here, like we'll have leagues starting in October.
Nice.
So, and you want to give it a little spam because you do get burned out at the end of the year.
You do.
Softball, states after states, like people don't even show up for the last couple of weeks of league. They're like, let's show up with 6 guys and drink.
After McQuaid's,
it's just slows way down.
McQuaid's and it's just.
So that we can see it here. The business slows down, but we have a cornhole league that's every Thursday.
Which is big. Cornhole's
It's big. Yeah. Tonight I'll raise the cages. We'll have 9 sets of boards all the way across, and that's competitive.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, but people don't understand. If you drive by our horseshoe pit up north, man, there's like cars parked all the way around the corner.
And I think the cornhole is more, I guess, like, you know, in today's modern society, like horseshoes. You know, it's like the new school horseshoes. And it's like, I kind of compare it to golf, where it's almost like a timeless competitive sport, to where, like, say you got some injuries, or I know even one of our customers who suffered a stroke, he was a cornhole guy. It's just like,
You didn't have to be a varsity sport guy in high school to be able to do this.
Yeah.
In fact, the guys that aren't like that are the guys that are the accountants, or I've seen some of the people that come in that went to school, man, and I was like, well, but it's the ones that don't overthink it. And I mean, there was a guy that came in yesterday. He was from Farmers Union. His name is Dave. I think he sank like 3 every time out of 4, and I'm just, I was a bowler and I was a pitcher. I miss the board sometimes because you're overthinking that hole.
Yeah. You try to get that perfect release. It's like, well, there isn't really no perfect release.
No.
I guess it's just all feel.
Yeah. And they shoot better, more adult fluids, it seems like. They shoot better.
So yeah, I figured with cornhole being so big, I think Amy and Travis had the bright idea of using that as kind of a foundation to raise some money for the community. So what's up with that?
Yeah, so I know that, you know, I've always was curious about this place, and I've never been in here. And I know when you stopped in to get those bars, and I was visiting with you, and our marketing person came down, Amy, and was talking, and I knew, like, her and I were kind of going back and forth a little bit, like, okay, what can we do? Like, what's coming up? What, you know, and other than Christmas, but like, what, we got to start looking into something that's community based for an event. And it just so happened when you walked in, it was just almost like a light bulb went off, and then it was like, hey, we should do something cornhole. Yeah, we should. And then it, like, we all kind of looked at each other like, I have a place. Yeah. We can arrange this. Let's do it. And it all came together actually really good, really fast. And so we decided to start a cornhole tournament, I guess I should say, for a foundation called Carrie's Kids. And what we want to do is, we called it Costumes for Carries. And we want to raise money for kids that don't get that privilege to get dressed up and go, you know, trick-or-treating, or even just to go over to a friend's house with a costume. And I don't think anybody's really done anything like this before, if I recall. So this is the first thing that anybody's ever done, something like this for kids for Halloween. Mm-hmm. And so we're taking sponsorship money. We're taking people that are donating good costumes that they don't use anymore and they want to get rid of. We're going to be hosting the tournament here on September 24th, 24th, from 2 to 6 here at SwingAway. And all the proceeds are going to this foundation, Carrie's Kids. We got food, people are coming in. We got Cloverdale coming in, that's going to be helping with the food. We got Butcher Block, which is an amazing butcher here in town. He's got awesome food, meats, he's got seafood, everything. It's a great place. We have some banks that are participating, helping out, doing donations, helping with the grilling. So a lot of big.
One of our past guests, Travis, he's doing something right.
What's that?
Did he bring a?
Oh yeah. So
Travis with Cold Country.
So on our previous podcast, Travis with Cold Country Coffee, he's going to be donating some coffee for this. So even small businesses are stepping up and donating some stuff. So it's good to see a lot of us coming together for this charity and to help out for this foundation, I guess I should say. And it's actually, from the feedback, we're getting a lot of Facebook comments on our Facebook about people wanting to know, what they can drop off, where they can drop off, how can I be a part of it? I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited. there's, like we've talked about, how there's certain people in the community like to step up when they see stuff like that, whether it's a donation or giving something, for like a silent auction or anything like that. But we're lucky to be in the situation where we can do something like this, and offer something. I never thought I would be at that position. You worked that desk job, or you were, I think, Wisconsin.
Working for Wisconsin.
Yeah, you don't think of that stuff. So when you actually get to that point where you're actually able to, like you said, give something back,
feels good.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I've got a handicapped sister that's been part of Special Olympics for. She's going to be turning. She just turned 52. So it's just one of those things that it's always nice to give back to the community, no matter how. People are like, oh, this place has never done anything for me. Two wrongs don't make a right, man. It doesn't matter anything to me. So,
but all the people that, especially for these foundations that are so appreciative when you do step up and help them out. And we've done a lot of stuff. Even last year, we've done a lot of charitable work for foundations, and just how when you approach them and tell them what you're going to do and you're going to step up and help raise money for them, the appreciation is what makes a guy feel good. To give back a little bit, and that these people appreciate everything that you do for them, and it is a good feeling. It does make you feel good, and it's stuff like this that what people don't understand. It takes so much work and planning and running around and phone calls and handshakes and everything, that it takes so much work to put
you don't just set a time and hope it falls together, because that's when you get people disappointed. So
you can't have broken promises. It's just not. And as a business owner, you don't want to do that. We're not out here to make money off this. It's just nice to be able to have someplace like a facility or the connections to be able to offer.
Even any sort of function that you're associated with, if you're associated with it and it turns out, great, people have a good time, well, that reflects how you do your business too. So
and it's like I said, it's always nice to give back a little bit, however we can help. And it's like I've told people, it's not even about the money, because the thing is when people come in, and this is again talking from doing previous foundations, people come up and they've even said to me, it's like, all I have is $10, and I know it's not a lot, but it's all I have. Hey, that's not what it's about. It's every little bit. It does make a difference, regardless. It's not, it's not about who can bring in the most money. It all adds up in the end, and it's all accountable for, and every little penny that you put in does make a difference, and it does go a long way. So everything's very appreciative. If you are interested in partaking in this, if you want to be involved in a tournament, we ask that you register before September 22nd, and you can do that at SwingAway. You can go, was it online, or do you want people to call, or how do you have that set up?
You can call or just stop in, one or the other. We have a Facebook page, so you can also Facebook message. So we don't have a website totally set up yet, mainly because I'm old and I'm the only full-time worker. So I don't want to, and because I feel bad, because I don't like to miss when people send messages and stuff like that, because you're working and busy. So a lot of times I'll just tell them the best way to do anything with us is to either stop in or just call. We're open. We're open noon to 10, Monday through Friday, 10 to 10 on Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. So every day we're available for this. So if people have questions or anything like that, feel free to give us a call. Like I said, you're going to hear this goofy voice if you're answered. There's not too many other people that want to work with.
And you're pretty much a one-man show. You run a lot right here. And what's the number that they can contact you at?
It's 712-6730 is the phone number
701?
here. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, you can reach out to Mike. You can stop in. If you're in the area, I'd highly recommend stopping and checking this place out anyways, because it is pretty neat. We do have a post on our Facebook, Dakota Kustomz with a K and Z, and you can check us out on our website, dakotakustomz.com. We do have information on there. We do have contact information on there too, if you want to, help with the foundation, sponsor, donate, anything like that. So you can check us out on that. And that we're actually holding it September 24th here at SwingAway from 2 to 6. Registration for the cornhole tournament, we would really like to have everybody registered by September 22nd so that we can make sure we have everything in order for the tournament, and make sure we have enough, and make sure that we have enough boards, because I do think this is going to be huge, and I feel there's going to be more people here than we're suspecting that just want to come and throw bags. And it's funny because yesterday I was showing my mom this. She was at the shop and she's like, I should get somebody and throw bags. And
Absolutely.
bless her heart.
Yeah.
I've seen her throw, and I'm like, we might want to put her in a separate side and make sure there's no glass or anything around.
Bubble wrapper opponents.
She's got heck of an arch and quite the arm, but.
Well, I'm hoping tonight I'm going to sit down we have Cornhole League every Thursday, and I'm hoping to get them, because all the boards are sponsored, so it'd be really cool to reach out to a few of them, because as you just stated, I think it might get a little bigger than we're hoping it's going to get bigger than we thought, because, I mean, really, you never know. Either it's going to be really hot or it's going to be ugly outside. So for the amount of money it costs to enter it, why not come in? Not only that, you can bring your kids in. We're going to have a place for the kids to play, hopefully, like we were talking about.
And plenty of food, And the other thing too is we're actually going to host a silent auction. People are donating stuff. Businesses are donating stuff. We're getting like Rough Rider, Harley Davidson. They're donating stuff. There's a lot of businesses that are stepping up, and I think you're going to be surprised the kind of gifts and merchandise that we're going to have here for the silent auction. So it's going to be a big event. We got good name brand businesses, corporations stepping up, helping out. So this is going to be a first one, but I think it's going to be, no offense, but a home run.
I think so.
Yeah. So
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
It was absolutely intended. We knew what you were doing.
That's dry humor right there, kids.
So
that's why you stay in school.
That's why I'm not a Canadian. So anyways, yes. Again, Michael Lert, SwingAway, you got to come down and check it out.
Awesome.
It is a cool place. It's easy to find. There's great parking. It is family orientated, so don't think that there's no time you cannot bring your kids in here. They're more than welcome to come in here. You got to come check this out.
I've been looking at this cooler for the past 40 minutes, and they got
a good selection.
Anything you'd want to drink. So
it is. It's a neat place to come check it out. Also, don't forget to check us out on DakotaKustomz.com, and that again is with a K and a Z. Check us out on our Facebook, Dakota Kustomz.
Or come by the shop. We're also having on our website, and I believe on our Facebook we have QR codes out there that you can snap and register. We're giving away door prizes. So again, check that out. Don't forget to register. Don't forget to check us out. Check out Mike over here at SwingAway, and if anything, just if you want to come down to the shop and see what we're all about, get a hold of Rob, come and meet Rob, get a tour. We're always welcome to have people come through here.
Yeah, the place is pretty freaking cool. I have to admit, going in there, you don't understand it till you walk in there, and the aura of that place.
Yeah, and it's neat because we've heard from other customers too that have stopped in our shop that have done their research before they want to bring their car in, and it's surprising how many people will not give a tour, will not show out their shop, and to us, I'm very against that idea. I'm a firm believer if you're going to be bringing anything in here, you have every right to check out where you're bringing your vehicle, bike.
A lot of people are spending big bucks on their toys. I mean, the recreational stuff is big, so you just don't want to give it up, because there's been people out there that have been burned. You've seen people on shows saying, this was at this shop for a year and a half, and now I'm bringing it to you, and like can dig it and stuff on TV. You watch it and they're like, oh my god, and they start cutting the cab corner out and they're like, what were they thinking? It's just
there's only two types of shop, and usually we've been in business since '99, and the shops that try to cut corners and try to just, you know, that they're in it for the money, they don't last. So
you get what you pay for. People have to remember that, especially in your guys' line of business. In my opinion, you get what you pay for. You can cut corners, but that's what you're going to get.
Yeah. And that brings us to another subject that we will be doing a podcast on, and we're going to go through and explain all that, and that's a whole another discussion.
Oh, it is.
Again, don't be afraid. Come check us out. We're on the Strip, Memorial Highway, and again, do not forget about SwingAway. Great place. You'll love it. It's awesome. It's very inviting. Come and check it out. So for that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.
See you next time, guys.
See you.